Demonic Angel. Today we are going to profile the Strength card. And I'm using the RWS Deck. So right off of the bat here we could see that the sky is clear. It's really just pure yellow, pure energy, warmth. And it's like, you know, when it's like a really nice spring day that's kind of warm and you feel really energized by it, especially after a long winter, you need a little vitamin D. So that's that kind of feeling. And in the very distance, mountains. But then we see close up here that it's this lush, you know, green land. It's just so fertile. There's nowhere in the landscape that is not fertile. There's not a brown spot. That is, you know, this is really, this and the Temperance card really are the big balance cards of the tarot. You know, the Temperance card is all about the alchemical mixing and matching, and, you know, the having, you know, one foot in the intuitive waters of our emotions and another foot, you know, on the logical earth, and that balance that really makes for creativity, you know, high energy flow, the correct flow. So, you know, in order for things to be this fertile, there really has to be very grounded energy that's balanced. This is a lion, and he's all orange here in the Rider-Waite, and he is, you know, she's basically holding, it looks like she's like prying his mouth open, honestly, and in this pose of, you know, really persuasion, influence, calming, motherly way that she is looking down. Lion just clearly staring down at him intently. She's dressed completely in this white robe that is otherwise plain but long, so there is this kind of connection for me with, you know, she's very natural. She's not wearing any makeup. You know, she's not, she's a natural beauty. She's modest, compassionate, and that is how she really contributes to energy flow. So there's kind of this idea that, you know, that there's real strength in introversion in a lot of ways, in persuasion, that when you're kind of a person who fulfills a feminine type of a role, you do influence, speaking not only from experience as I do age, and seeing other people, this role of, if you're kind of the caretaker for other people, and you really get to know what emotional aspects are challenging for them, and the things that really kind of comfort them, you know, you can really present that when you sense they need it. And it really keeps, I see it, I feel it, I've experienced it. It will keep, you know, the family on track. It will help people, you know, you calm people down, you make them feel important and connected with you. Then it really will help their stress levels decline, and they can focus on their prospective roles at that time in life. Students, if you have kids, the more you nurture that in this subtle, modest background way, it is very, very powerful, and anybody can fulfill this role that she is doing, and she, you know, she and the lion are the yin yang here in the tarot. So, but it is it's a consistency too. You know, you're always there. You're this caregiver. You're just always there, and it does so much. I mean, or you're the spouse of somebody who works. Chances are, you know what might be a nice surprise for them, or just the subtle influence of give your man a foot rub if he works for you, you know, or just be there to listen, you know, be ready to say, tell me about your day, and really, you know, give your full attention and engage with what you really think, you know, is a smart thing to say, creative, and you know, because you know, chances are that kind of dynamic of asking, you know, come home from work, I'm going to ask my spouse, the caretaker of the other people, hey, how was your day? And so I want to know what you think, though. And you know, and really to be, you know, some women, some of these housewives, especially back in the day, but they really are the shrewdest observers. I mean, like, it kind of reminds me of Agatha Christie's Miss Marple. She's that spinster detective lady, very excellent, in my opinion, her best work, because they just, you know, they're always observing people, and it makes them really, really, you know, crazy smart, very good intuition. Not everybody, you know, not everybody is meant for this role, and it's also not something that is probably meant for you forever, because we all play different roles, but, you know, it's also that kind of strength that old people have, like, they really have this wisdom that they tell in their stories, and that comes from just the strength of surviving to be 90 years old. I mean, think of all the things that could have happened to this person, and yet they make it, and they influence the family, the younger generation, with a, you know, a shrewd observing and listening, and then they can craft, you know, stories to convey points, you know, be the real storyteller. And that will be something they know that the younger generations will take with them, so that they'll think, hey, my grandpa, you know, told me this story when I was 8. It changed my life, you know, because we you know, old people know how we think, of course. So that does remind me of that. Strength is gentle. It's patience. It's a real place of empathy. Strength is not in a masculine card. You know, somebody does something to make you mad, and you know, you're gonna beat the shit out of them, and that's, well, lots of different things. I mean, it doesn't really solve much. There really isn't a winner. And was it strong to fight that guy, you know, that you don't even really maybe remember, or were you drunk, or just had a different opinion, and, you know, you put your hands on somebody, like, to fight, that's kind of weak. That's the weak way out, and it is, you know, the reverse of this card. Not masculinity, the imbalance, because these are the yin and yang. The imbalance that comes from some of the things we can talk about in a minute. So I'll wrap up, like, you know, the whole positive aspect here. You know, she's the only other character besides the magician who has the infinity symbol above her. You know, also, this is the continuous cycles. This is all this stuff. This is life and death, male, female. This is the way that, what this really is, though, is the energy flow. And we get that whole alchemical association with the infinity sign, that we constantly need this balance. And balance does not mean things are stagnant, as in, like, you live a one set lifestyle and nothing ever changes. And this is balance because you fight for it through you treat your sleep issues with meditation. You choose to eat, eat healthier things, cook for yourself sometimes. You choose to exercise. And these habits that you form that are healthy, they really stand the test of time, and they will make a huge difference to your life. You're increasing the way that you use energy anytime that you really care about yourself in any kind of correct way. Correct meaning going against the way that energy is supposed to flow. So that really will always do something tremendous for you by strengthening your energy. If you eat, these right kinds of things, if you sleep better, you choose to consciously address it, you're one of those people who does understand that it's all mental, the habits, that that you're the shrewd observer of even yourself. Why do I need to have a Diet Coke every day? What is my emotional triggers of whatever I eat like this? And you're very, very shrewd, so you can really read people very good because of that constant observing that we get. And that's the right flow of energy. So obviously there's that confidence, and it's just that the big idea is that it's a quiet, constant balance of energy, but it has to be constructed consciously, okay? Of who you choose to become. She has the crown of roses on her head, and she also has, that's greenery all around her head, and she's got the chain of roses. Roses symbolizing innocence. Once again, it's just another aspect. It's another manifestation of fertility, of just getting your energy in the right way to really be strong. When you do care about yourself that way, you also increase your immune system. You can get like way worse sleep, or I should say, less sleep. But if you feed your body better, you actually will have way more energy anyway. So really addressing these almost surface level yet deep issues, because it's like, oh, why do I do what I do? That examination of the self makes one a shrewd observer to crack into anybody else, really. So when we, but that is also, there's a quiet confidence. She knows who she is. She is this very much this maternal figure. But as well as that, there is that we could kind of think of the beast as our primal or carnal impulses. So ranging from, not just sex, but like, hey, I get mad right away. And the woman understands that you need to express your anger, your sexuality, but it needs to be done in a loving way that sometimes does require things like patience and perhaps stepping away from all the vices to truly have that appreciation of how do you get pleasure in life. Not just, such a deep thing, but like, why do the things that those habits, why do they make you happy? Is that really something? And if it, chances are it is something, that it needs to be expressed in a healthy way like sex. But it has to be done with this good intentions. Otherwise, it's not taming the beast. The beast is taming you, and you really are just like a fractured type of a person, energy, because there's no balance, and that is how it manifests. There is no direction. So you feel angry and you just can't control it, and you, like a man, classic example, a man probably from the 1800s really too, a man will get mad because his boss yells at him and he goes home and beats his wife. This is the incorrect way the energy is flowing. There is no the healthy outlet for this. We have to express, we have to manifest our emotions, our inner feelings have to be outward. So You know, when we see these addictions, when we see the unexamined habit, then there's no pleasure. That's the big thing. Have to have balance in order to have true pleasure. You know, like those, and hey, you can get all sexy with that, I guess, and think that's kind of why I like the ideas of tantric sex, like you know, where the school thought you could delay orgasm, and that would increase, you know, pleasure through the, you know, long stimulation of nerves, things like that. You know, if you just give in to what you want, what you need to express your sadness right away, it's not just pleasure, but you're not really learning. You're not you're not open enough, grounded enough to be open. And this is also, like, the imbalance is really somebody getting so sad that they approach you and they immediately dump their problems on you. They're basically like looking at you, like begging you not to leave, like, hey, let me tell you about everybody who died in my family. And they just are kind of like, they have to repeat that story. They have to tell you, they're literally like a, you know, ghost or zombie kind of a vibe. And they just start crying. But like, they don't get anything out of it because it's just so overwhelming to the party they're telling and, you know, projecting these feelings on, that people to truly have a connection with you, they really do have to feel like you are interested in, at least, or perceive that you care about their feelings, that you're interested, and that's on very subtle levels. But when we just inundate strangers and even our family with the same, projecting our emotions in such a hard way, people really do, they shut down. And, you know, they're not sending empathy back to you. They're not helping you find this connection you desperately are trying to find. But it's not through any kind of attachment that's good. This is also a card reversed. This also does have to do with low energy. So, you know, the depression associated with isolation that can happen with, you know, older people, or, you know, addiction, imbalanced people, they push everybody away. And so that is there is a dark aspect to the strength, and it you know, just a loss of energy, loss of health after a lot of years of not caring about your health at all. Now it's going to manifest in this imbalance because we have the yin and yang, we have it imbalanced, so the manifestation is going to become physical and cause you this stress, this financial stress, whatever, because you never examined yourself, kind of a thing. But remember, it's never too late, and to really be strong by forming new habits, to really care about, even no matter what your job, to care about others in a nurturing, motherly way. And I just mean, you know, somebody in your life doesn't feel good, you know, give them a gift card, whip them up some soup or something, or just sit, you know, call on a Skype, listen, whatever, take the time out of your day. It means so much to people when you really engage with the attachments that you already have, the friends and family. And you know, this is a cry to look at all of your habits, because, you know, in life we do want to experience pleasure, but that has to really be done through balance. You know, so hedonism, I don't think, has ever really made anybody happy. And I think a balance does come from mastering the self from within, and then things can be experienced, if you will. Sex, perhaps various drugs. Drugs are what we all do. We're just trying to get different reactions in our minds. But like in a very probably a healthy way, but only if it can really be examined and removed from why, if it was formed out of, coping mechanism, then it really has to go for a while. And then you'll be glad when you step away from something and then you come back with a healthy approach, a healthy gnosis, because then you'll really understand however rich the subject or, the avenue you're pursuing of the basic pleasures of man, and maybe even the deeper ones. They all do require this balance, and, hey, this is also a card of, remember the moms and the grandmas, the grandparents in your life who influence you with a background kind of a feel, and think that, isn't that really strong? I mean, it really, like, most of us think about your attachments to your grandparents and stuff, to some old person that maybe made an impression on you. And even though they were background people, caretakers, that was their real strength. They were always there, that consistency, that love, like the almost the unconditional love from grandparents when we talk pretty typically, kind of a feeling. And it influences you more than the direct things you consciously have in front of you. And there's really this is a kind of a woman empowering thing, like whatever role you choose to fulfill in your life, you're, a rockin' lady, and, guys, you need to get in touch with that. Your feminine kind of nurturing self as you grow and examine your own habits and the way that you're manifesting your energy. I'll talk to you guys later.